Yo, Buck, it's the boss.
This episode of the Buck With Me podcast is brought to you by Forward Media and the Benton Media Lounge.
Yes, sir. What it is, what it do, boy. It's your boy Buck Wheat. Welcome to the Buck With Me show. Today's guest is it's a lot of things I can say about this young man. There's a lot of things y'all don't know about this young man, but I'm about to put you guys on game. This is the first podcast for 2025. He goes by the name of Snatcha. Hold up, my bad. Snatcha the boss. Snatcha the boss. But not only does his own music thing, this is Doechii's dad. I bet y'all didn't know that. So we really finna get into the music game from his history, his background. We're gonna talk about Doechii's and where she's going in the future. And you're from Tampa.
Yes.
Born and raised.
Born and raised. Originally from Tampa, Florida.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So of course you're already in the music game yourself. Now, are you still an artist yourself now, or are you just more just in control of things?
I play more like the executive side of things, but I always be like an artist at heart. You know
Okay.
what I mean? But as far as me as an artist, my career putting out music and stuff, I kind of took a step back to play more the executive role and help other artists.
No doubt. So when you became an artist yourself, who was your influence for yourself back then?
Back then, growing up, I grew up listening to, I grew up listening to like, the New York artists when they had their little run, the Jay-Z, the
Right.
Biggie, and this and that, and then of course Tupac. But coming up after that, you know what I'm saying, it was more so Cash Money,
Yep.
T.I., Jeezy, the South. Atlanta ended up taking over and having their run, you
Mhm.
know what I mean? But back then, if I had to say like, far as like artists that were influential with me as an artist, man, it was many, because I used to listen to a little bit of everything, you know what I mean? East Coast, West Coast, like Dog Pound, Snoop,
Oh man.
Dre.
Yes. Yes, sir.
I'm talking about even when I was like younger, listening, being around like my big cousins and things like that. I'm listening to NWA, Too Short,
Yeah.
stuff like that, Pimpology and all that, you know what I mean? So
Did you kind of fall in between behind Too Short footsteps being a pimp back in the day?
back when, back in them days, coming up, like I say, coming up under my big cousins and watching how they move, and
Right.
that's what they listening to, and of course they're moving according to what they're listening to. So a little bit of that sauce got poured on
No
me,
doubt.
also. Yeah. Yeah.
So what made you get into the rap game, like, as an artist?
Okay. Always had a love for music. Grew up around music. Like, music was heavy in my family growing up, even as like a child, going to family functions, and my family, we get together, my aunts, my dad, everyone, they're playing the oldies, they're playing music, the Luther Vandross and Teddy Pendergrass and all that
Right.
type of stuff. So music always been heavy in my family, heavy with me through different stages of life as I grew up, you know what I mean? Man, my family, we were a card playing family. So
Right.
we get together playing cards and playing music all night, and they would want the kids, once they get to feeling good, had them a couple drinks or whatever, and they want me, my cousins, everybody to come in and dance for the adults, and
Right.
the stuff when you're a kid, So music just was something that was just kind of just bred it in me, with my family playing a part in raising me. And then once I got, grown, got out, you get your first apartment and things like that. So I naturally just did the same thing that I saw growing up.
Right.
Like me and my brother, we got our first apartment. Our first apartment was together. Me and my brother were roommates. And at that time, like I say, now we're listening to the Tupac, the Biggie, and this and that. So music was heavy. Even in our house, when we got our first apartment, like, we would just be playing music all day, just, music lift the spirit. And I found that that was a passion of mine, just messing around with me and my brother.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Listen to you talk, and we're going to talk more about Doechii here in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Your music background, and to listen to where you're talking right now, and to see her music background and listen to it, she was influenced by a lot.
Yes.
Like, I hear jazz.
Yes.
I hear, like, alternative type of music.
Yes.
Did that come from you, or should we say that come from just hanging around the fam?
I would say,
but did you push her to, like, hey, you need to do this, or is that something that she wanted to do?
Maybe I would say maybe a little bit of both. And we did kind of have her in different activities that were musically enhancing,
right?
I would say, you know what I mean? Like I say, with me and my brother, we got our first apartment. It was not too long after that I had my daughter, Doechii. So I want to say within literally a few months after her being born and stuff, her mom, you know what I mean, she's always been like a driven, independent minded, you know what I mean, strong willed and stuff woman, and she wanted to get back to work
right
as soon as she could, you know what I mean? So at the time she wanted to get back to work, so I would be having my daughter with me, having Doechii with me, you know what I mean? And she would be sitting in the apartment, me and my brother's apartment, and I got her. I'm on dad duties, and I'm still trying to write and perfect my craft, sharpen my pen. Me and my brother had a little keyboard, and this was I got crazy stuff.
Oh, I know you do too.
This was like a real old school keyboard, real basic keyboard. Like, it would let you record, you know what I mean, but it only gave you 6 tracks. So that, that's not too many tracks to make a beat and have tracks left to record. So what me and my brother learned to do was we would find, different sounds in the keyboard or whatever. And, one half of the keyboard would probably be like 808s, the other half would be the snare, the hi-hats, and the boom boom. So we would get on the keyboard together, side by side, and try to put as much as we could different sounds that we know we want in the beat and how we want it on one track.
Okay.
So I would be playing the kick and the snare, he's playing the hi-hats and the boom boom hits in, and we trying to record at least 4 to 5 sounds on one track, get the beat done. But like I say, she's 4 to 6 months around this time. She's starting to crawl now, you know what I mean? So she would always be curious, want to know what we're doing. I set her up. We had the keyboard set up on a little bar. I set her up in my lap. I'm trying to do what I do with my brother. She's
just being a kid, but having fun. But it's crazy.
Being the baby.
And soaking it up all at the same time.
She's always been very attentive, observant, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, my baby, she been here before, man.
So with that being said, now we're gonna get into Doechii here in a little bit, and I hate saying that because I want to jump in it now, but I think with your background history with being an artist, what made you want to do your own label at that point? And did you do it with your brother also, right?
No.
Oh, this is all you.
This came as far as wanting to get start a label and this and that came many years after that, you know what I mean? But I had been getting into my independent grind, you know what I mean? Getting into my independent grind and just doing my thing, running around, learning the music business and the industry, the hard way. You know what I mean? Paying for these lessons that I've learned, you know what I mean? And ended up doing a few independent runs, you know what I mean, promo tours and things like that, stuff that I set up myself out of pocket, you know what I mean, just from soaking up game, just from moving around and soaking up game from different people that's in the industry, and I'm starting to get closer to people that are other levels that are a little more in the industry.
Right.
You know, you run across them people that say,
should we say gatekeepers?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I'm soaking up the game and I'm learning stuff, you know what I mean? And started applying it to my own career as an artist, but a little late in my career because I had already been on like a good, I want to say 6 to 7 year run, just grinding, you know what I mean? Just grinding. So now that I done obtained enough knowledge to where I think, okay, I know the right moves to make. I know what I need to do. I know what lanes I need to be traveling to get the results that I'm looking for, you know what I mean? So different artists started seeing what was going on with me in my career and seeing that I actually started getting momentum and I was moving around. I'm being seen in different places and with different people and on different platforms than just the local level platforms, you know what I mean? So artists would start reaching out and wanting to be a part of it, want to know what's the blueprint, what I need to do, this and that. And you know, with a lot of aspiring artists, like bottom line, I'm like me, I'm a Virgo, so I'm more like blunt, straight to the point. Gonna say it, don't ask me my opinion, because I'm gonna tell you the truth. You might not like it when I tell it to you.
And people always get offended. Yep.
You know what I mean? You know, so bottom line, I always still to this day tell aspiring artists, like when they reach out and saying that they looking for help with their career, and I'm like, are you investing in yourself? Are you willing to invest? Because at the bottom line, at the end of the day, it's all about if you're willing to invest in yourself. You have to invest, man. It costs money. I hate that it's like that myself, but it is what it is.
Right.
It's a business. You know what I mean? And these people that you want to get to that you know can help you and help your career, they get paid for their expertise. And so, any aspiring artists, you know what I mean? I mean, really, that's the biggest thing to helping you as an artist get to where you want to be in your career. You have to be willing to invest in yourself and be willing to listen and be coachable. But that was it, man. I started dealing with different artists that actually was in a position they were ready to invest in this and that, and you know, started working with a group. First little group I had was a Cloud9 Gang, and went to moving around. They were young kids, you know what I mean? They were kids, you know what I'm saying, running around. They had a lot more life to live, so, you know, mentally mature-wise, they wasn't there yet for the business, because we all, you know, before we actually get in the industry or get a taste of the industry, we have our assumptions of what the industry is. We have our assumption of how long this should take, because we know our talent.
Right.
We feel like we know our self-worth. We feel like we know what we bring to the table, never giving thought to the fact that the way the industry works, these labels, they don't need artists. They don't need you. They don't need your talented, creative just gift. They don't need it. You know what I mean? Because these labels can turn anyone into a star. These labels have writers, you know what I mean? A lot of our artists, our favorite artists, actually use writers. Like we found out that Drake used writers, you know what I mean? Right. And that's not uncommon.
No, it's not.
In the industry. That's actually the norm.
I feel like, sorry to cut you, I feel like in the 90s, we thought that Redman, and I'm not saying Redman in general, but like a lot of 90 rap artists wrote their material. Honestly, there was ghostwriters just as well as it. We just didn't know about it until, 10, 15 years ago? I'm going to say 10, give or take. But like you just said, it's more common now to have a ghostwriters. And I think even now with today's artists, it used to be 1 or 2 people. Now it's almost 5. It's more people being writers for one particular song. Artist. Yes. Exactly. Yes. I think Beyonce had a song. She had like 13 people that got credit
for one song. Yeah, working together on one song. I mean, yeah, they actually have writers sessions and stuff like that, where just the writers get together and figure out what they're gonna say and what direction they're gonna take this song that they're grouping up to work on for, like per se, a Beyonce or something like that. So. And, you know, the thing about these younger artists, you know what I mean? Like I say, they were young, they were kids. They didn't know that how the industry works. They didn't know that these things happen. They didn't know that with you can have one track, one beat. They in their mind, they get on there, they record their song on that track, and they are excited. They think they murdered that shit. Let's put it out there, this and that. But honestly, you know, me seeing the things that I saw and learning what I learned, I've seen one track, the same beat, have so many different artists do a song for that track because, you know, they call them references.
Right.
And with the music industry, they usually labels and stuff, they want to do whatever's best for the music. What's going to get the biggest, you know what I mean, return. You know what I mean? So you can have a rap artist on this beat and they kill it, got a nice rap song, but it only appeals to a certain market, a certain demographic. Then you have a pop star come and do a song to that same very same track, but the song they had did, it kind of attracts a more mass and broader, you know what I mean, people.
Yep.
Genre people. So naturally they're gonna go with the one that's gonna make the most revenue. We're here to make money. It's a business, and you got so many artists that don't understand that. They take that kind of stuff personal.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not knowing that this is business. This is just a business. It's not saying that you're not a good artist. It's not saying that your song wasn't good. Your song would have made $1 million, but this song, the way they did it, it can make $100 million. And we're here to make money. You know what I mean? So it's just a lot of stuff that I had to learn, and you know, to get those illusions and assumptions out of my own head that I was trying to work out with the first set of artists that I ever worked with, you know what I mean? And ended up like it was like one or two of them out of that group of like 7, you know what I mean? 7 Cloud9 gang. There was a group of little young kids from out of Sulphur Springs, Tampa, Florida.
All right.
You know what I mean? They were out the north side, you know what I'm saying? Very talented, you know what I mean? And not too long ago, actually, I was speaking with one of them, Cloud9 Dro. He done grew up. He was one of the best ones when it comes to talent and his flow, his cadence and everything. And he was just reaching out saying that he wanted to get back to it. He done grew up, and he still has his youth to him to where he has time to do it.
Right.
And he was like, everything makes sense that you were explaining back then. Now that I done lived a little life and grew up and I see how things go and woo, and I'm like, yeah, I'm telling you, you know. So once I got my first taste at that, working as like managing the artist, it just went from there for me.
Right.
To now, like you asked, like growing into me wanting to have my own actual label. Because then, you know, after that I started learning the different positions and people that's needed to be in place to help an artist's career. So now that I got that knowledge and I understand each different position and the role that each position plays, I'm ready to try myself at a label, you know what I mean? And make sure I can offer an artist everything I know they need for that artist's career to thrive. So that's where the label came from, you know, starting out just taking a chance at managing.
So we can say that you're definitely interested in developing an artist here in the Tampa Bay area.
Yes, that's something that I actually have a reputation for, you know, not to toot my own horn or nothing like that.
Toot that motherfucker.
But many people have actually kind of gave me a pat on the back or saluted me saying that I really do have an ear for like talent and knowing how to put together like great music, great songs, like hits, like. And it's just from years and years of working and understanding and knowing how to look at making music from the different perspectives and different sides of it, from different sides of the microphone, from different sides of the camera. I understand both sides of this, you know what I mean? From being an artist to being the CEO, you know what I mean? And it just fine-tuned my ear, and we did. We came and created a different sound for Tampa. You know what I mean? Coming out of Tampa, that wasn't the norm. Right. When I was moving and grooving with my career, like we came with a whole different sound. Like, yeah.
It's interesting that you say that, and for those that are watching the Buck With Me show right now, we're gonna get my man information. So if y'all want to reach out to him and you need some assistance, you got any questions, we got you. We're gonna hook all that information up. But with all the artists that you work with here, in Tampa, and I'm gonna just say Tampa. I'm not gonna say other cities, surrounding cities, because the reason, because it's a double whammy question I'm about to give you right now. Juke music. When I moved here, it was juke music, and you said changing the sound of the Tampa music right now. Mm-hmm. And I know for a fact that you've seen this on the socials before. We're talking about we don't have no major artists in Tampa, and I'm like, Doechii.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. That's made it nationwide.
Right.
Some people say Broadway don't count because it's St. Pete. It's across the bridge.
Right.
But I know when I'm out of town or I go to wherever I go, when I say Tampa, everybody automatically thinks Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater.
Yes, that's one.
That's just exactly.
Yeah.
But for us, it's like, no, that's St. Pete. That's St. Pete artist.
Right.
Tampa, this Tampa artist. Clearwater, right. I don't think Clearwater have an artist, but nationwide. But how do you feel about, people saying we don't have a Tampa artist, and right now Doechii is nominated for 4 Grammys?
Let me see. I can say this respectfully.
Speak your mind, brother.
First, I would say people really got to start doing their research.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They got to start doing their research. And people need to take a look at themselves, if they've been asleep, you know what I mean? And they're just now being woken to Doechii and what's been going on. They need to take a look at themselves and understand and know that maybe they're not as tapped in as they thought they were.
Right.
I would say, you know what I mean? Because what I noticed, especially with dealing with the stuff on socials, you know what I mean? A lot of the people that do talk and say, well, I don't know this, I don't know that, I don't know this person, I never heard of that person, this and that, and I'm from here.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you're not as tapped in as you thought you were.
Hello.
Because she's from here.
And she represents.
Her entire family is from here. Her whole heritage and everything is Tampa, Florida. You know what I mean? Her dad born here. She's born here. Her dad's dad and mom born here. Their mom and dad, my grandparents born here.
Right.
Like, we're Tampa. You know what I mean? And I just think like people have to realize that they should do their research and dig a little deeper and find out and get more tapped into the city and find out what's really going on. Because what I find to happen is people tend to put themselves in a box unknowingly.
Mm-hmm.
Unknowingly. Because a lot of things that I saw, and it's actually getting better now, but I want to say maybe about 5-7 years ago. It's been getting better now, but about 5-7 years ago, we would be talking about the Tampa local hip hop scene, right? But really, Tampa didn't have a hip hop scene. The local artists in Tampa were more trappish. They wanted to be trap artists. They wanted to, like you say, they wanted to do the juke music and this and that. That was the local music scene in Tampa. You know what I mean? It wasn't hip hop.
Right.
Hip hop. And a lot of the artists in Tampa, they just want to, come out and have the flashy rap.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Materialistic rap type stuff, this and that, you know what I mean? But what a lot of these aspiring artists around the area didn't know, while they're still going to these same certain little showcase or venues to perform at, they're putting themselves in a box because they're only dealing with this, not knowing that there is a very small artistic hip hop community and culture in Tampa.
Right.
But they're just performing at other venues that y'all don't choose to venture out to because y'all continue to go to the venues that cater to your style of music.
Right.
And with Doechii, her style of music and stuff, we had to figure it out. We had to find these spots that actually welcomed and catered to her style of music.
Because it's not your typical style.
No, it's not.
It's not.
No, it's not. She's not just a rapper, you know what I mean? And she's a well-rounded artist.
Very much so, yeah.
So she was performing at these different venues and different clubs, you know what I mean? More like the spoken words, you know what I mean? Venues like that. what's her name with Nova.
Nova came.
Yes. The Sesh. They were doing things like that. What artists could come, even just musicians that play instruments, play guitars, played the saxophone, played the trumpet, had a spot where they could come and showcase their talent. So Doechii was more so performing and showcasing her talent in those type of settings and venues of real like lovers of the culture, not just people that just love the flashiness, the lifestyle.
Wants to get hyped up.
You know what I mean? Right. So a lot of people that I actually seen on social that I know personally know that are from like the local area. These individuals, they've only ever circulated and dwelled in certain circles in certain areas of Tampa. So that's all you know is that.
So you got to get outside of Tampa sooner or later.
Not just outside of Tampa. It's just you got to get outside of your norm, the box. You know what I mean? Like, let's see. Let me give you an example because I like what she's doing right now. Big Brit. Okay? Big Brit. I dig it. What Big Brit is doing. You know what I mean? Big Brit. I see that she gets, invited to come out to venues, but I noticed that the venues are mostly venues like, and it's not about race, but they cater more so to the blacks.
The urban side. Yes.
You know what I mean? Uptown and this and that. And they actually cater to a certain type of crowd and a certain age group, age demographic with this crowd, you know what I mean? And that's more so of the crowd that's from the urban areas and this and that. But if Big Brit was to step outside that box and start performing at these venues that cater to the mixed crowd and this and that, and even the Caucasian crowd, this and that, she could continue to keep building her fan base on the more well-rounded, you know what I mean, and not just depending on, you know what I mean, because I'm gonna be honest, you know what I mean. A lot of times when you do that with being an inspired artist, you really tend to bring out just more so friends and family with you, not real consumers or fans of.
Yes, I totally.
Culture, not just music, but the culture, the life, and everything. So that's all that is, man. Artists and people that don't know everything that's going on in their city are. Everyone that's in their city that might be doing things that's popping it and this and that don't mean that they're not popping their shit. And that don't mean that they haven't been popping their shit and grinding hard for this right in the same city you've been in. They're just in areas that you tend not to frequent.
Hold that thought. This is the Buck With Me show here at Bid Media Lounge. Yo, I'm not even going to lie. This music conversation that we're having right now is dope to me because, being that you're from Tampa, you've seen the Tampa artists. And when I say that, you've seen the Tampa artists who actually could have made it bigger than what they did.
Yes.
And I'm not going to drop no names because we ain't trying to hurt nobody's feelings.
I was around a lot.
And I know you were.
Mostly all the ones that, we probably could just name that I have a relationship with them still to this day, like a friendship and stuff. And I was there when they got that deal, and then that deal got snatched away. It didn't work out. You know what I mean? They dropped that fire single that was like the one that could have took them out of there, and it didn't. You know what I mean? I done been around a lot of them. Even the ones that got caught up in bad business. Right. You know what I mean? Stagnate their career. They can't do too much. They can only do but so much, like their hands are tied. You know what I mean? But we got it down pat. We got the blueprint now for Tampa.
Do we really though? Yeah. This is 2025. Can we really say that we, and I ain't saying us, but I would say more you anyways, is there artists outside of Big Brit that we know that we can focus on and get the DJs here in the city to support? Because the thing that I've seen lately and always debating on socials like, well, the DJs don't support the artists, and then the DJs, well, they don't pay us. Like, that's forever always going to be something. But how does an artist, even like yourself, how do you build that relationship with the DJ so they can play your music? And is it about the money? It's just, are we really trying to put on for the city or not? I know it's a lot. I apologize.
I would say, brother, I'm gonna be honest. I would say that I would say that I think artists and DJs really do need to sit down and have a conversation in from Tampa, like the artists, the local music scene, the DJs, the artists, because I like the artists. I like Big 290.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, he's doing it, and I like his voice. He got the voice. He got a tone for it, and he got a nice flow. I don't think he's originally from here. The guy I'm about to say now, but Young and Reese. Young and Reese.
Yes.
But you know, he's been in town. He moved to Tampa and done plugged in a lot. Like, I think DJs should really start supporting local music more, and I think the artists should start supporting the DJs more also.
Go hand in hand.
You know what I mean? It goes hand in hand. And artists supporting the DJ, it's not always in DJs. It's not always monetary, like just money and this and that. Like, artists, you could be sharing this DJ. Like, when a DJ posts a flyer saying that, hey, I'm going to be at club such and such tonight. I'm going to be on the ones and twos. I'm going to be DJing. Why not show love to that DJ and share his, you know what I mean? Share his stuff, you know what I mean? Help him, you know what I mean? Get him a buzz and build his brand up. And DJs paying attention, they're going to see that, they're going to do that, and they're going to naturally want to, one hand wash the other hand. They're going to want to help you out also. You walk in the club and you be like, yo, what's up, man? Boom, boom, I always share your stuff. Oh, yeah, I see you always sharing my stuff, man. What you working on now?
Right.
Send it to me. I'm going to spin it right now. Boom. Artists, you're doing events and stuff like that. Start booking some of these DJs. Start helping put money in their pocket. You want them to help put money in your pocket. These DJs, a lot of them are like DJs / promoters. They're doing events and stuff like that. They're doing back to school events. Start inviting out some of these local artists. When the promoters here, they book these big artists from out of town, from different states and stuff like that, that come through Tampa, get the money and just go. Show no love to the local music scene. When you start booking these artists and bringing these big time artists in, start looking out for some of your local artists. I mean, let's be for real. You can't just look out for every one of them, because it's a million aspiring artists, you know what I mean? But let's be for real. The ones that you know are really serious and they're invested in their shit, they moving, they picking up motion and this and that. Sometimes all it takes is a little nudge. You help them out a little bit as much as you can. I just think it should be more camaraderie, like amongst the DJs and the artists locally in Tampa. Like, they really should get together and start helping each other grow and prosper, because when you do that and the artist actually catches a buzz, or the artist catches the attention of the industry,
right,
this artist might bring you on as his official DJ. Now you're on the payroll, brother. You know what I mean? Now you're seeing the world, brother. Right. Because you just, wasn't thinking about the little couple of dollars, the little $20, $50, $100 in the beginning just to spin this song. You just wanted to help his career, and boom, 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 it worked, and he remembers that and has gratitude and shows appreciation by saying, you know what, man, I want to bring you on as my official DJ.
Okay.
It just, man, you just one hand wash the other, man. Tampa, we really need to fix the disconnection. Yeah, and let's start connecting.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Well, we're going to definitely connect, because I think there's something there with what you just said, and I'm not saying myself or even yourself, but even as Cloud, we get a handful of DJs, a handful of artists, but like, hey, let's kick off 25, this summer vibe, and like, boom, let's get some music played. Because personally, I hear Big Brit song, you said it right, only at urban spots. Right. I don't hear her at Tangra. I don't hear her, you know what I'm saying? At
Tally Hoes? Oh, yeah.
All day.
You
know what I'm saying?
All day. But, and not speaking negatively on tally hoes or nothing like that, but just when we speaking of a spot that just really more so caters to the urban areas of the city, tally ho is really one of them. You know what I mean? And Nothing, you know, nothing.
Regardless of the drama they've had lately, but
yeah, nothing against Tallyhoes, but Tallyhoes has its set crowd. When Tallyhoes open, the same people are in Tallyhoes that have been going to Tallyhoes. This isn't like new people every time Tallyhoes. No, this is the same, different couple neighborhoods that live in the area, people from the area, and this and that. But artists really start. I would suggest start, you know, getting up out your comfort zone and introducing yourself. A lot of artists, aspiring artists, I notice they have a problem with networking. They're too, you know what I mean? It's not about being friendly, you know what I'm saying? But networking, you really do have to get out there and introduce yourself sometimes.
Right.
You know, and yeah, you might have been grinding so hard, been grinding, doing shows in your little area, your neighborhood, your side of town. That don't mean that the other side of town know who you are.
Right.
You know, when you go to a new club that you never been before, and you're trying to showcase your talent in front of a different crowd. Of course, when you come up to the door, they might treat you nonchalant. Even though when you go to Tallyhoes roll out the red carpet for you because they know you. You're always there. You're bringing money to their venue. You're bringing 30-40 people with you, all your friends and family, this and that. But then, like you say, you go to like what is it, Tangra or something like that, and you get there, and these promoters you never worked with before, yeah, they might not know you. Don't take it personal though. Tone it down a little bit on the ego.
Right.
You know. And another thing I would say with artists, because it's not just the DJs that be wanting compensation, you know what I mean? But these artists, these local artists, I see it and I'm hearing it more and more. They're wanting to charge local clubs and promoters to perform and this and that. And I'm like, yo, like you haven't been nowhere. You haven't even been outside your city yet.
Right.
You haven't even locked in your city. You just got your side of town. Like, you gotta humble yourself, man. You gotta humble yourself and stay hungry. Don't ever trick yourself in thinking you're too big to listen.
No doubt.
You know.
No doubt. With that being said, Doechii took off. I know you tapped in a little bit about her music background, like, and you said she got that from the family. The activities. What activities did you guys put her through or put her in?
Just a bunch of different things. Like I say, yeah, she comes from a family that's just very heavy in the music, listen to music. She was born growing up with her dad doing music. She's watching and seeing this. I gave her first ink, pen, and paper. Like, I'm trying to write. I got her sitting on the kitchen table right there. She's steady reaching at my pen, this and that. So I'm like, okay, I know what I need to do so I can focus. I need to give her her own paper and pen, right. And she would be sitting there. She's a baby. She's scribbling this and that. I promise you. And I just did it just so she could, because she just was curious and wanted to do whatever she see me doing. So in order for me to be able to write, I gave her her own paper and pen. She would be sitting next to me scribbling, just screaming and happy. She's a baby. Like I say, 6-8 months now at this time. And now, to this day, if you see her handwriting, she has the most beautiful, legible handwriting. You know, so many people right now in 2025 don't even know how to write cursive.
Come on now. I just had this discussion with my own daughter. She's 17. That's
a problem too, man.
But they don't teach in school no more.
That's exactly, and people need to pay attention to that. The things that they're slowly taking out of the schools, not teaching anymore. And I'm talking about people don't understand how it's very important to have legible handwriting and to know how to write cursive for not just your signature sake, but to be able to even read it, to read cursive. But yeah, Doechii has the most beautiful handwriting, bro. And I really think that's why I gave her first pen, and she started getting fluent with it. So she's been writing and scribbling with the pen and paper, understanding the dynamics of it, how to hold it and this and that from since, like I say, a newborn, a baby. And it just went from there, bro. She did gymnastics. She's done ballet. She was part of a jazz band, different things like that, performing live, you know, for people, for different crowds at Harvey Park and stuff like that.
Dang, Harvey Park.
You know what I mean? All those, and I didn't, you know, me and our mom, we didn't think about it. I realized it at the time, you know what I mean? But it was a few years ago, it kind of hit me, and you know, just because I'm just seeing my daughter do this shit, and I'm still like in awe, like,
right,
like, wow, you know what I mean? And I went to thinking, and it just came to my, like, man, because everyone speaks a lot about her showmanship, her performances and stuff like that, her stage performance, and just her awareness of the stage and everything, and what to do is just impeccable. Like, she came into the game her first year being signed and was performing at a level of, I'm talking about very seasoned and veteran, and that's just because she's been doing it most of her life, performing in front of crowds and big crowds and stuff, you know what I mean? But just those activities and things, I think, played a very important role in what everyone is seeing today when they watch Doechii hit the stage and perform and everything. You know what I mean? It's just because she's been performing in some aspect on some type of level her whole life. You know, she had her first like real audition, live audition. She was 6 years old. Me and her mom, we entered her in this little thing that a talent agency was holding, and they were holding auditions in Tampa, but they were from out of town. I don't know exactly which state off the top of my head. I want to say they were from out of California, some talent agency, but they had an ad that they were running, and her mom saw it, and she was like, "What? I want to enter in this," and boom, 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 and you had to send like a 45-second little audition tape. And, you know, they were looking for, you know, models, just dancers, singers, and whatever, for commercials that they could use for whatever, kids. So my daughter made a tape. She sent it in. Boom. She made the cut for the live auditions for when they actually get in town and come to Tampa. And they were holding the auditions at a mall that we used to have in Tampa. It was called Tampa Bay Mall. You know what I'm talking about.
Yo, Tampa Bay Mall was the spot. Come on now.
Was the spot.
Come on, dog.
It sat right across the street from the stadium, from Raymond James Stadium. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
yes.
We took her to the audition. You know what I mean? Man. She had done been rehearsing and practice. She was definitely taking it serious, more serious than I was. I just thought it was like something like, you know, that's cute. You know what I mean? Like, that's cute. You know what I mean? My baby wanna, you know, okay, cool. We're gonna do this. And I'm thinking, you know, she's going to be nervous or whatever when she got up there. And like I say, 6 years old. 6, literally. I'm talking about, we go up there, boom, she knocks it out. She just like got like instantly like comes alive on stage when the music starts. Boom, no nervousness, no hesitation in her steps or moves. She's on it. She has her numbers down. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Like, she's really been rehearsing. Man, she finished up, you know what I mean? And I'm sitting there watching her. Me and her mom, we looked at each other like, wow. Like, this is it. This is where...
That was the moment.
That was the moment I knew that, yeah, this is for her, because that was really the first time that I had seen so much life in my daughter. Like, because she's always been real reserved and shy and quiet, you know what I mean, to herself, you know what I mean? But when she got on that stage and she came to life, and I seen a side of her that I hadn't seen, and that when we knew that was it. That's something that she wanted to do. She loved the feeling, because after that, that's all she ever talked about wanting to do. She wanted to be a singer. She wanted to be an entertainer, this and that. And so we just, throughout the years, just steady just watering that seed.
Okay, I gotta ask you this real quick before we go to break. I'm listening to you talk, and you said the proud moment, which I was getting ready to ask you that. Growing up, when she was between the age of 2 and 4, and she's in the car riding with y'all, may the radio be on, wow, 98.7. Just you had a CD playing. What was the songs that she was singing along to or rapping to in the car when y'all was riding? Or did she have an artist like that you recognized when she was that youngin'?
Because she did used to be with me a lot, riding out with me because, like I say, I would have her with me a lot. And around that time, her being 4 years old, I was really like moving around. You know what I mean? I'm moving around. So I got her with me. Right. Like my daughter was like my dog, you know what I mean? Like my ace boom boom, you know, it was me and her. Like our bond, our relationship it's different. It's on another
beautiful
level. It's on another level. It's deeper than rap. It's you know what I mean? That father daughter bond is a true thing. It's a true thing. I thank God that I'm blessed to experience that with my daughter, because there's nothing me and her can't talk about. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that we talked about. I'm the first person that she would come to talk to about it. You know what I mean?
Even with her ex-boyfriend?
Oh yeah.
What was that for? You know what? We ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that. We gonna talk about her album.
You mean the $100,000 oopsie?
Yeah. We hold that thought. Hold that thought. We gotta talk about, you know, how y'all tied in with TDE, and we gotta talk about the Grammys nomination. So hold on 1 second. We'll be back with the Buck With Me show. Oh, tay. Oh man, the relationship that you have with your daughter is beautiful. I think a lot of fathers or mothers wish they could have that deep relationship. I admire it because my daughter lives in Minnesota. We have a decent relationship. It's not as tight as y'all, and sometimes I wish I had that. But you know, when you're not having your kid around you, it's hurdles.
Yeah, I was gonna say life don't miss nobody, and there's always speed bumps in the road. Not saying there hasn't been time that me and her have bumped heads.
Of course,
you know what I mean. Her coming into being an adult, a womanhood, you know, because I'm super proud of the young lady that she's become, the woman she's becoming. You know what I mean. But there's a time, you know, our kids when they're teenagers, they do things, this and that. You know, your last year of school, you start, you know what I mean, doing things. No, we done bumped heads before, you know what I mean? Even when she was younger, I'm running around. I'm still young. I'm running around the streets. I bump my head, get myself in trouble and caught up in the clink. Right. She wondering why she ain't seen her dad in months and this and that. But I don't want her to know that her dad is caged up. Right. You know what I mean? So she done went through life a little while, confused about, well, why haven't you come to see me or call me, not knowing that I tripped over my own foot, got myself in some shit, and had to pay my dues to society. Right. But I don't want you to know, because I want you to always look up to me with that utmost. Right. You know what I mean?
I feel that, bro.
Being a parent, you know what I mean? You don't want your kids to look at you like you the fuck up.
Right.
Even though trying not to look like the fuck up, you could be fucking up.
Right. No,
that was something I had to learn.
I feel you, man. I mean? So where did you get your name from? And where did she get her name from?
Okay, well, originally my stage name, my stage name was Body Snatcher number 4. And that comes
Body Snatcher number
4. Yeah, bro. And that came from me, few of my cousins, some of our friends that actually were family. They grew up in our family, you know what I mean? Family. We formed this little clique. You know, we were never a gang. You know, they quick to make you a gang if you hang in a group with, you know what I mean? So we had, in the South, we called it cliques.
Yes.
This my clique, that's your clique.
Yeah.
His clique and my clique beefing, or this and that. His clique and my clique cool. It wasn't no his gang and my gang. We don't do the gang.
Nah, it's always been cliques.
We never did that back in the days. You know what I'm saying? So we formed a little clique called BSE, which stood for Body Snatchers, which later formed into Body Snatcher Entertainment. And so when my very first project, very first single, very first song I ever put out there after finally taking being an artist serious and started investing in stuff, that was the name I was going by, Body Snatcher number 4. And then, you know, like I say, I just kept sticking with it, doing my thing, and eventually started gaining momentum and gaining a fan base and gaining notoriety and people knowing my name and my face now, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, in your career as you're growing up and this and that after, you know, certain amount of projects and different things, you know what I mean, as you, like Meek say, is levels, so as you continue to keep leveling up, artists tend to pick up another persona, a name that kind of shows maturity in your artistry also, you know what I mean? So, you know, from Body Snatcher number 4 came Snatcha the Boss, because another thing was, now I'm starting to get to a point in my career where I'm getting to sit down and hold meetings,
right, and
have meetings with different labels and stuff. And I remember having a meeting with Deb Atney, Waka Flocka's mom.
Okay.
And she gave me some great advice, and I soaked it up, I absorbed it, I picked up what she was putting down. She was telling me like my name, and when she said it, I had already had a few incidences when I'm at networking events, and I tell people my name, and I be like, yeah, Body Snatcher number 4. They be kind of like taking
literally,
like,
yeah. I
like what? That. And it didn't mean nothing bad, you know what I mean?
Just the nickname
went by, you know what I mean? But it did come with the stereotypical stigma because they hear Body Snatcher, you know what I'm saying? So that was the motivation to grow and morph into Snatcha the Boss.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Just to grow up and like I say, at that time I was already starting to think, and I was managing the group. I was starting to get more, wanting to be more on the executive side. So I had to come with a more appealing name, and I was like a name that kind of just matched what I'm going to be doing, what I want to someday be doing, which is executive or owner of a label.
Gotcha.
So Snatcha the Boss came from that, from Body Snatcher number 4, just from growing up, growth.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? And thinking more as a brand and thinking broader now, you know.
Now, Doechii, how did she come out with that name?
Doechii? I don't know. I think that'll have to be her story to tell, but from my understanding, from my understanding, you know, it just came from an alter ego that I believe she said she created from, you know, from back in the day when she was getting bullied in school by the little kids. She was smaller, this and that, and she came up with this alter ego, Doechii, that kind of gave her a little more, made her feel more stronger, gave her a little more thicker skin, a little more, you know what I mean, to that extent. But yeah, I heard her tell the story a couple of times how she came up with the name, but it did start from her creating like this alter ego to deal with the stress that little kids deal with, whatever stress that is at school. But you know, we all went through that. We done all been bullied, and we done also bullied. Let's be for real. When the joke isn't on us, but we're used to the joke being on us. Oh, the second is not on us, we don't mind joining in.
Yeah. Hello.
You know what I mean?
Hello, dog.
So when it comes to bullying, I want everyone to understand. When it comes to bullying, we're not victims. We've all done it.
Yes.
We've all done it. You know what I mean? It's just that some people don't grow out of it and mature and understand that that's not the way to go. Because you got adult bullies, people that bully their way through life.
My daughter bullies me now. She's like, oh, you bald headed. You ain't never had no hair. I'm like, God dang. My own kid throwing me under the bus. But I have to add on to what you're saying.
I know guys get bullied by their girl. They getting bullied by that girl, man. But like I said, it's all forms of bullying.
I'm glad that I can't wait till she talks even more about her bully situation, because we live in a society right now.
It's an issue.
Where it is an issue. And kids are actually committing suicide. But for her to prevail through that, man, come on, dog. To see where she's at right now? Yo, if you getting bullied, if you send this out of Doechii, she made it mean you can make it. Like, let's keep that gangster real quick.
Yes.
Come on now.
She did not let that break her spirit. She didn't let none of that tear her down and break her spirit and forget who she is.
Come on,
like
man.
I said, she's always had like a great sense of direction for herself. Fresh out of high school, she went to college. She went to Bethune-Cookman, right? She went to Bethune-Cookman. And like she's told the story in many interviews, her senior year in high school was like one of her most busiest years on her independent grind. I mean, she's moving around heavy with her music. Her senior year of school, she's doing shows. She's actually now how artists do now. In nowadays 2025, you got artists, they'll book themselves at a venue and this and that. She was doing that 2018, 2017,
it's crazy.
2019,
right before COVID,
because there were no outlets for her type of music like what she did. So she always had, like I said, a great sense of direction for herself and very business savvy, and she doesn't mind researching and studying.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, she started throwing her own shows. She's booking herself, and she was always into fashion. Like, you see her fashion sense now. This isn't nothing new. Like, this is what I've been watching my daughter do. Like, every year for school, when I would take her school clothes shopping, right, to go back to school. We're in the mall, I'm asking her what store you want to go in, where you want to go. I'm like, I know a couple good stores. I'm talking about the urban streetwear stores.
Right.
I know what they wearing right now in the streets, but that's not what she's on. My daughter, she want to go, instead of going to Foot Locker or Champs, no, she wants to go to Journeys. She wants to go to Skechers. And I used to be like, okay, fine, cool. I'd be like, what's up, man? We gonna go in here in this store? She'd be like, no, I wanna go over here to this store. She'll go get a dress, boom. Like a sundress or something, boom. Then she wanna go to Journeys. She gets a pair of Converse All-Stars.
Mm-hmm.
Follow me.
Oh.
And then we'll go into some other little store that I don't normally go into with, and at that time, none of my little lady friends that I might have been taking to the mall and, you know, doing my little thing. But she's going to these other stores. When I go in, I'm seeing white women and everything. She's always had, she knew what the upper, like what they were on, right? She got this sundress, she got her Converse, she go in another store, she'll grab a pair of jeans, Levi jeans, boom, get her stuff. I'm thinking this is all going to be for separate little, I will see her, pick her up, or she'll take a picture, send it to me before she go to school, let me see her in her outfit. She got the dress, the jeans, and the Converse on together. Yes, bro. She's dressed in layers as a child. And she would get picked on for that, but she was so...
She stayed with it.
Because she had her own identity of herself. And people just didn't understand it. Her peers, the kids her age, they just didn't understand it. They're thinking, like, this is weird. Like, but this is what she's growing up listening to. She's growing up listening to Paramore. She's growing up listening to rock and roll, heavy metal, watching and seeing how they do it, how they dress. And that's what excited her and piqued her interest. That type of stuff. But because she's the black girl, and at the school that's in the black neighborhood, so that school is predominantly black, she got picked on because she talked proper. My daughter was raised in private school. She was going to private school for many years, and finally me and her mom let her go to public school, her first year of public school. I want to say it was Robles Elementary. I want to say she was like 4th grade, her first time going to public school. It was rough. It was a rough year for her and me and her mom because we were at the school nonstop, you know, especially her mom, you know, not playing. But, you know, she did. It was hard for her. It was a hard adjustment for her to have to make, you know what I mean? But she's so strong-minded and strong-willed, and like I said, she has such a great awareness of self that she didn't let none of that break her or deter her or nothing like that. And she's still like that to this day. She has a great sense of direction for herself, and nothing can teeter-totter that and waver her going forward for what she knows will be best for her.
So it's funny. I got a phone call from a homeboy from 300. This was 2018 or 19, right? Like I said, right before COVID. He was like, Buck, you know this girl named Doechii? I'm like, nah. you know she from Tampa? I'm like,
Right.
no, sir. So he's like, she has a song with Tom G in the video. And I'm like, I said, well, I know Tom. We know Tom. So he sends me the link and I'm watching the video. I'm like, the Classroom video.
Yes.
And what was the name? I forgot the name of the song. But
Yucky Blucky.
yes.
Yucky Blucky.
And I'm listening to the song. I'm like, because like, man, I'm used to Tampa sound.
Right.
I'm used to hip hop. She sounded totally different. And I'm like, bro, this is different. He said, well, we're looking at her. And he also mentioned TDE was looking at her too at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about it, and that was it. I would literally say 3 months later, or maybe 6 months later, I'm starting to see her name pop up. And it was lightly popping up. Like, I was even asking people, they're like, nah, because it was just such a underground, and I even say underground, it wasn't the popular music to listen to from a Tampa artist.
Right.
So how did TDE end up like grabbing her up from everybody else?
Okay, so yeah, I'll give you the short version of that, how that went. Like, at the time she got signed, she was living with me and my wife. We know she was living with us. She had just got back from New York. She had just got back from New York trying out for the Voice. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she had went to New York, tried out for the Voice, ended up coming back home, still doing her thing, working on her music, you know what I mean? And she came to me and told me that someone had DM'd her and had been emailing her. That was from TDE, you know what I mean? And saying that they wanted to fly her out, you know what I mean? They liked her music and they were interested in seeing what they could do, as far as signing her and this and that. So, like any father, this is over socials, this over the internet. Me, my first thing, like, man, make sure this is who the fuck this
Exactly.
is. This ain't some weirdo or nothing. You know what I mean? Someone playing and this and that. So she went, she did her thing, she checked it out. It ended up being official. They know, and this person is actually her manager now, the one who signed her. Musa from TDE.
Yeah.
So packed her stuff and she flew out, right? She flew out. I'm like, call me as soon as you land. Call me when you get there, this and that. I get the call, that out, I'm here. And instantly from her getting there, just to hear her voice and this and that, the excitement in her voice and stuff, I knew she had stepped into a world that she wanted to be in that she hadn't been seeing. Because she called me, she's like, Dad, I'm here. Oh my God, Dad, wait till you see this mansion they got us staying in. I'm like, what? I say, a mansion? She's like, yes, Dad. She said, hold on, I'm going to call you. I'm going to call you video phone. She called me. I'm looking. She walking me through the mansion. Look, Dad, I'm talking about it's me. And they brought in some other artists. And they're just checking us all out to see who they're going to actually boom. So I knew she was good. She was straight, And by that time, like I said, she had just got back from New York. She had went to New York by herself. She had went to college for a little while. So we were used to our daughter traveling the world by herself, you know what I mean? And at that time, she was like maybe about 20, yeah, about 19, 20, about 20, yeah. And day or two later, she called me and said that they presented her with a contract. So, as a father, once again, I'm like, send it to me, let me see,
Exactly.
Let me look it over, and she knows that her father is well versed in the music industry and understand the business side of things. So, she was like, okay, but your kids, right? Because I'm like, send it, this and that, but they don't want the parents to be like, no. So some way that it wouldn't send and this and that, you know what I mean? I know my daughter, so I know she wants to sign. She really wants to sign. She's rocking with them. She's like, man, Pops, they got black-owned label. It's kind of like it has a family feel. They're family-oriented and boom, 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 and this and that. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay. And, her question was, what do you think I should tell him I want up front? What should I sign for? And, I gave it a quick little speech of, sometimes it's not always about what you can get up front. It's about, is it going to be the best move for you long term?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because the money will come, you know what I mean? But let's just make sure you're going to be somewhere where you're really happy at and they're really going to work with you and not just bird feed you, like, you know what I mean? They're really going to invest into your career, your projects, your singles, like your rollouts. Like, they're really going to go with the marketing and everything, and they've been doing it since day one. Like, TDE really embraced her, took her in, and didn't hold back or hesitate with putting any of their resources behind her to get her where she's at now, what we're seeing, to being Grammy nominated and everything. Like, TDE was the perfect best fit for her, I feel, you know what I mean? Top, great guy, family oriented is, his son, Musa, that's his son, you know what I mean? Great guy, great, you know what I mean? I'm happy for her. I know that it's a blessing for her. And it's a blessing for me as a father, knowing that she's in good hands. She's all right. She's not around someone that's going to try to take advantage of her. She's around someone that understands how a parent feels and is very protective of their child and this and that. And he deals with her as such, with the respect of her parents and stuff, and understanding, how her parents must be thinking and operating, from behind the scenes and stuff. Man. So it was great, dog. She got signed in 2020, and it's been up for ever since. And I'm so happy for her, and of course I'm overly proud of her. You know what I mean? But it's just the best feeling just to see my princess just happy, and she's independent. She can take care of herself. You know what I mean? She's not being caught up with the wrong people, with the wrong guys that's taking advantage of her or trying to use her, and she's going through life learning relationship stuff the hard way off of getting game ran over on her and this and that type stuff. No father wants their child, but especially no father wants their daughter to have to deal with the drama of what comes with the relationships.
So let's get into the album that she just dropped a few months ago, Alligator Bites Never Heal. That bad boy took off.
Yeah.
Did y'all expect that album to take off the way it took off?
Honestly, yes. Once I heard it, before it actually got released, when I heard it, when I heard what was slated to be the project, I knew it then. I was like, this is it. This is going to do so much for your career, baby. This is I'm talking about boom, pound it.
Yes.
Baby, give me something. You did that shit. You a beast, Jayla. You did that shit, and you repping, you showing hip hop that you hip hop. Right. That's my little girl. Like, that's my dog. Like, she's so used to, she's so used to just her dad. Just, you know what I mean? I'm talking about, man. Talk to her like she's like my dog, she's a little boy. So I'm like, man, you a beast with it, girl. I'm talking about, I hype her up.
Right.
I make sure, I make sure she has the confidence and, that little edge that you're gonna need in hip hop.
What's your favorite song on that album?
Shit, bro.
And you probably got a couple. If you got two, give me two. Or your top three.
Oh man. Wow. I would say Bullfrog.
Okay.
Bullfrog. I don't want to say the normal ones that are like that everyone.
But if it is, it is
what it is. If it's mine, it's mine, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Bullfrog. Bull Peanuts. I would say Nissan Altima.
Okay.
Because that's my style, when she's really into it and she's the transitions that she's coming with, she's chopping in there so boom. She know I love that flow. It's like a flow, a cadence that she has with the song that she did a while ago called Spooky Coochie. I don't know if you remember that song. You guys check that out.
I had to check that one out.
Bro, she used she's sick with it. with a pen. She's sick with her pen, dog. She used about maybe 15 different transitions throughout that song, just in the voice changes. She's so good with voice control, like, bro.
Oh man,
Those are my three though.
Okay, so let's talk about the popular song that she talks about the ex-boyfriend.
Okay, yeah, Denial is a River.
Yeah, you said y'all have a close relationship.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm not gonna say it's my favorite song because of the popularity of the single, but when she breaks it down, and let's keep it real, you say y'all are tight. When she talks about the drugs and the sex and then the issues with her ex-boyfriend, that's real life stuff.
Yes. Look, I like money. I like pills. I like.
Yeah. Okay, so did you get the phone call when her ex-boyfriend was going berserk?
Yeah. But that be the stuff that because life misses no one. You know what I mean? And one thing about my daughter, that she's always been with the fans and with the world. She's always been very transparent.
Right.
She's always been willing to have herself out there vulnerable, and always been able to express the lessons in life that she's learned and the mistakes that she's made to learn those lessons in life. You know what I mean? So with the song itself, with her making that song, I wasn't surprised that she would make a song like that, because her music, what she does use music for, because music can be very therapeutic. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's an outlet to vent, to get stuff out. You know what I mean? And so I wasn't surprised when I heard the song, and just knowing about what took place and this and that, and like your question, just receiving the phone call. I took it like a father would, you know what I mean? I took it like a father would, and we dealt with it, we dealt with the situation. That's the stuff that, you handle it behind the camera, you know what I mean? Behind the scene, you know what I'm saying? And that was something that she actually learned from and grew from. And that's why she actually made the song, because it was something that she had done, finally a hump that she had got over in life, and stuff, and an incident that she learned from. And now she's the type of person, she's always been like the goofy girl that she can laugh at. She doesn't mind laughing at herself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She doesn't mind. So now that she's done made it past that situation and she's done grew and lived a little life, I wasn't surprised to hear her vent about it and kind of laugh at herself about it at the same time, but also make sure she lets it be known that she's learned from it. Right. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was I took it like a father would when it comes to his princess.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
As you should.
Yeah.
Man, it's crazy that to hear the beginning stages of your career and her career, and she's now 26.
Yes.
She's 26. Your baby girl is a Grammy nominee.
Yes, bro.
After all, when she did the BET Awards, I was like, that's Tampa. Yeah. She's representing herself, your family in Tampa, but now it's Grammy time. Mm-hmm. And she got 4 of them things under her belt. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Best rap album. Mm-hmm. Best rap performance.
Yes.
Best new artist.
Yes.
And then the 4th one, I think, is
it's best remix song.
Yeah.
By alternative DJ, I believe. Yeah. I think he did like a house version or something like that, an EDM version. But it went. It went through the roof also. I think it's a song that she got with JT, Alter Ego.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the 4th nomination. Yeah.
Now, out of those 4 categories, she's with some solid competition.
Oh yeah.
Let's keep it real. She's with some solid competition.
Oh yeah.
Out of the 4, and we would love to see her win all 4. Do you think which one do you think she'll win out of the 4, or she might have a better chance of winning?
I think she has a chance at winning all 4. Honestly, honestly, her work ethic and everything has always been out in the forefront. people see how hard Doechii goes.
Right.
People see, like you say, people seeing Doechii pop up everywhere. She's doing everything, all these things. She's already Grammy nominated, but she's still going harder, bro. She's going harder, bro. Like, she's a workaholic. She definitely earned it. She deserves it. You know what I mean? This is nothing that was just given, like someone just, hey, we're gonna boom. No, she worked for it. She really works hard. She works harder now, and that's another thing that artists don't understand. You think an independent grind is hard.
Right.
You get signed and get on, and these labels start putting multi-million dollars behind your career, and they want to see a return.
Right.
You see how much you're gonna work. You see how much you're going to work, how many different things you're going to be doing that day. You got to be here, you got to be there, you got to be here, you got to be there, you got to be there. It's really a job. That's just her job. That's what she does, but she loves to do it.
I'm going to piggyback on that. I would like for her to win Best New Artist if I had to choose out of the category. Because to hear your story and her background, just like, I'm already rooting for it, but now just like, I really want her to win that category. Definitely.
And in the category with Best New Rap Album,
yeah,
I believe,
come on,
it's a
boom bap, baby.
It's a stiff lineup of competition in there, but when we're talking about albums out of that category, I think there's really only two that I could say, like, really had, like, great projects. And they just so happen to be, you know, label mates. You know what I mean? Her and Kendrick. On that category, I definitely could see one of them two winning that.
I totally agree with that.
Winning that category.
Yeah. I'm
winning that category, sure. You know what I mean? And the fact that Kendrick just dropped this other project also right before the Grammys and stuff, it shows you the work ethic that TDE does instill in their artists. TDE, man, as a whole, as a label, you know what I mean? As a group of entrepreneurs, you know what I mean? Just group of people, just the individuals that they are, you know, at the core, great people, man. Great people, and they do go hard for their artists, you know what I mean? It's not always, like I was saying earlier, it's not always peaches and creams and stuff. You know, you and your label aren't going to always agree on the vision or the direction that, you know, you both want to travel, you know what I mean? But when it's go time and it's time to go, TDE don't hold back on their artists. That's something that I'm seeing. And I'm seeing that firsthand, you know what I mean? They go hard. So and the thing with Doechii, they do, because Doechii is a different type of artist that, you know, for them to deal with. You know what I mean? She's the first female rap artist that they've ever signed, that they ever had. So this is their first time dealing with a female rapper and trying to steer and guide her career. But she's not just a rapper. Doechii is an artist, and they're learning that, and that's something that they're learning, ways to deal with her so they can steer and guide her career also. And they do. They let her be very hands-on. They trust her. They've learned that she does have a great sense of direction for her artistry, for herself, you know what I mean? Her creativity, like all her videos, right? Her stage sets and what's going on, just to everything. She's very hands-on, involved with the creative process of everything.
God dang, that's crazy. Yeah. And I'm glad you said everything is good, because, you know, there's rumors out, and there's always rumors. Everybody like, well, you know, SZA this and Kendrick this, and it's like those rumors and people eat into the social media outlet. And I'm glad to tell you, like, everything is good over there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, everybody gonna have the issues.
Yeah,
It's like family problems. You're going to have those regardless.
We're not going to always agree.
Exactly.
We're not going to always agree. The thing that matters the most at the end is, how do each party agree to disagree? Some people agree to disagree and walk away with a grudge.
Right.
some people agree to disagree and walk away with still trying to understand it from the other person's perspective. Some people walk away knowing how to agree to disagree and not take it personal and put too much, emotion into it. I understand sometimes it's just business.
Right.
So, it's just about understanding we're not going to always agree, but we can agree to disagree, and we can sit back down and touch bases on this subject or topic or issue at a later date,
Okay.
So
what's the future hold for you from this point on? Would you be more involved with TDE? I know you got your own label. Would you be focused a little bit more on that?
Yeah, actually I am. I got something that I'm working on. I got in the works to bring more attention and actual resources to artists, aspiring artists, not just from Tampa, but of course that's home base. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, man, we got something in the works, man. A media company / publishing company. You know what I mean? Yeah. We got some stuff in the works.
25 is looking good.
Yeah, brother. No, it definitely is, and I don't want to just too early let the cat out the bag, but I do plan on making an announcement soon.
Okay.
Of something that we want to offer and bring to Tampa Bay that would definitely help the music scene and help artists. Yeah.
Will TDE be a part of that venture?
TDE themselves. This is something that House of CEOs is doing, but who's to say what can happen down the line? You know what I mean? I would definitely be open to that. You know what I mean? Even with just help from advice wise or different guidance on direction wise of how to accomplish what it is, the goal that I have set to accomplish, you know what I mean? Like, there's people from TDE that we do have a great rapport and, I'm sure would be willing to help and point me in the right direction if I need it be. But, yeah, like I said, it's going to be a House of CEOs thing, something that we focus on from the home base from Tampa.
Right.
But, yeah, definitely, picked up a lot of what, I've learned from being around, you know what I mean? And I understand how to structure the label now and what roles each position are supposed to play, like what's the responsibilities of each position, what's their duties and this and that, who's responsible for what when it comes to making sure this label can give artists everything they need to thrive. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Hey, man, listen, I appreciate you for stopping by.
Nah, I appreciate you for having me, bro.
Nah, because this is a blessing. I got to give a shout out to Javon for telling me. He was like, man, I know Doechii dad. I'm like, huh? What? I said, we got to get him on the podcast.
No, that's family. That's family. That's my brother.
So I got to give him a shout out to Tango, man, for definitely looking at and making this thing happen.
That's the fam.
This is family all around.
All around, right, bro? You already know.
You the fam. Boss, House of CEOs. We'll be talking more about his future on my social platform, but make sure y'all keep it locked in. Buck with me. Show. Snatcha the Boss. We out.
We out.
And cut. Buck With Me Podcast. Clap it up.
Hey.
That's a wrap.
Hey, now keep it real. We could have went another hour because
This episode of the Buck With Me Podcast is brought to you by Forward Media and the Bitten Media Lab.